Hey guys, welcome back to True Crime with Shannon, where I cover missing persons, unsolved cases, crime news, and more. Just when we thought we wouldn't have any news from the Simon camp, since we had the news yesterday of Billy Joe, well, we have some big news today, as of this afternoon, about an hour ago. So you can see it on the screen, but I'm going to go over it if you guys missed the presser. But before I do, I like to feature a missing persons poster on the channel with every video. So let me pull up today's missing persons poster. Okay, so today's missing person is Jadea Davis. She's been missing from the 5300th block of Bass Place Southeast. This looks like this is Washington, D.C. She has been missing since last Friday, which was December 9th at 11 p.m. It states the Metropolitan Police Department is seeking the public's assistance in locating 14-year-old Jadea Davis, who was last seen in the 5300th block of Bass Place Southeast on Friday, December 9th of 2022. The incident was reported on Tuesday, December 13th. 2022. Jadea Davis is described as a black female, medium complexion, 5'7" in height, 115 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes. Her clothing description is unknown. They're asking you to please contact for tips. You can contact anonymously at 202-727-9099, or you can text 50411. And again, this is someone missing, a young 14-year-old missing from the metropolitan area in Washington, D.C. And there is the information up on the top there. Her reference number looks like 22180-877. But again, if you have any information on this young lady, please contact the Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Police, 202 576 6768 or 202-727-9099. Let's help bring this young lady back home to her family before the holidays. All right. So, just like I said, just when I thought cover Billy Joe yesterday, which, by the way, in case you're curious, an update, called Chatham County, and they stated that she's in there for at least 10 days. Her current status is she's in there for 10 days and then she'll be released. So I guess she'll be home for Christmas, whatever that means for her. I don't know, but Leilani is definitely not going anywhere, as she was indicted today on unaliving charges in the death of 20-month-old son Quinton. The missing toddler's remains were found weeks after his October disappearance in a Chatham County landfill. So let's play the presser here with the lovely DA. She is very impressive, so let's check that out.
Good afternoon, everyone. As you know, my name is Shalina Jones, and I am your Chatham County District Attorney. I'm here today to discuss a matter that has captured the hearts and minds of many people across our community, across the state of Georgia, and across this nation, and that is the sad and untimely death of 2-year-old baby boy Quinton Simon. Over these past few weeks, there have been photos and images that you might have seen of men and women hard at work, combing through heaps of trash, looking for just the smallest sign of what happened to baby Q, as he was affectionately known. When any person, particularly a child of tender years, is murdered, harmed, victimized, or goes missing in our community, it's a matter that calls our very humanity into question. These are the cases that keep us up at night. These are the cases that deserve justice. Before I begin, I would like to thank the fine members of law enforcement, particularly our Chatham County Police Department Police Chief, Chief Jeff Hadley. Thank you. If you'll join me here, I appreciate it. And to the rest of his team, particularly the lead investigator on this case, Detective Lemons. Chief, I want to thank you for the hard work and dedication that you devoted to this case from the very beginning.
Yes, ma'am.
Your department was boots on the ground, and you made this the highest priority for our county. You represented our county well, and we greatly appreciate it. To the men and women of the Chatham County Sheriff's Office, the GBI, the Department of Natural Resources, and every other, the FBI, of course, and every other law enforcement agency that devoted time, effort, and resources to searching for baby Quinton, we say thank you. These men and women worked very long hours, turning shifts for 6 weeks straight, working tirelessly and would not quit until Quinton's body was found. Were it not for their tireless efforts, we would not have been able to take the first step on the long road to justice as we have today. I'm standing here before you because earlier this morning, the sworn and impaneled members of our Chatham County grand jury returned a 19-count indictment against the mother of Quinton Simon, that is defendant Leilani Simon. Defendant Simon is charged in the indictment with 1 count of malice murder for the intentional killing or death of her son, Quinton Simon. She is also charged in counts 2 and 3 with felony murder in the death of her son. She is charged also with 1 count of concealment of the death of another in this indictment, and that is followed by several counts of giving false statements during the course of a police investigation. As your district attorney, I realize that this matter is really important to our community and also to the inquiring minds both here and beyond our community that want to know what happened to baby Quinton and how it happened. That curiosity is not lost on me. However, there's more evidence that may be revealed during the course of this investigation. And I say that to remind you all that this is an ongoing criminal investigation. As prosecutors, we are duty bound to preserve the judicial process by not making out-of-court statements about the case and by not releasing evidence in the case. I want you to know that this is not about hiding anything, and our goal is always to be transparent with the members of the public. However, it is very important that we preserve the sanctity of the judicial process. It is very important that we do that so that the evidence in this case, if this case should go to trial, can be heard by jurors who are selected from this community, the jurors, the citizens, and the people who are most impacted by the untimely death of Quinton Simon. But not revealing this evidence also ensures that the criminal proceeding remain fair, just, untainted, and that this case is not tried in the court of public opinion, but is resolved in a court of law. What that means is that while this case is of grave importance to our office, and we will devote every resource to making sure that this case is properly handled from beginning to end, it also means that we will not be responding to any open records requests or media questions about the facts and underlying circumstances and the evidence of the case. We all know that justice takes time, but it should be swift and sure and fair. We appreciate the time and your time and patience with us in this matter as we continue to pursue justice for baby Quinton Simon and for the citizens of Chatham County. Thank you very much.
Are you taking questions?
Depends on what questions you have.
Is there a chance we can get a copy of the indictment?
The indictment has not been sealed as of yet. That means that as of now, it is still a matter of public record. You can obtain a copy of that indictment from the Office of the Superior Court Clerk.
I know there's only so much you can release, but from the evidence that you've had a chance to look at, is there anything you can tell us that really stuck out to you? What was the most shocking to you just from a human point of view?
Well, I would generally say, not about this case, but in general, whenever we have a death of a child of tender years, in this case, as I said, Quinton Simon was 2 years old, that's something that is just going to stick in your mind. As a prosecutor, that's something that keeps me up at night, and that is what's going to keep me and the rest of this office pursuing justice in this case.
But Leilani Simon still hasn't petitioned to take her bond hearing to Superior Court. Is that something that surprises you, or is she where she needs to be?
Well, I think that would be a better question that's reserved for her defense counsel. I am not surprised by any moves that the defendants do and don't make. My job is to make sure that we stand ready to respond to whatever move they make, and so should she request a bond hearing, my office will be ready.
Can you share with us why Billy Joe was jailed?
Can you repeat the
Can
question?
you share with us why Billy Joe was jailed?
That's a separate legal matter that's still under investigation. I'm not at liberty to discuss that matter at this time.
And you may not be able to answer this question either, but what resulted in the contempt charges for Miss Billy Joe Howell of Betterton?
What's the question?
What resulted in the contempt charges?
Are you asking what caused the contempt?
Yeah.
Again, that's a separate legal matter. I'm not at liberty to discuss that at this time.
In your course of prosecution here, you have 3 murder charges for 1 victim. Can you talk about it, just explain to the general public why that happens, the difference in malice murder and the 2 counts of felony murder?
Prosecutors often develop different theories of a case and how a murder may or may not have occurred. It is not uncommon for us in murder cases, and you'll see this in our other indictments, to charge murder in a number of different ways. And as I said, as the evidence continues to evolve in this case and we get closer to trial, should we get there, we'll have more information about if any additional murder charges need to be filed or if they need to be changed in any way.
You say you're still gathering evidence. Talk about the confidence you have in the evidence that you have right now.
Well, to be honest, I wouldn't be standing here before you if I wasn't confident about the evidence that we have. We have more than sufficient evidence to bring the charges, and that's why we presented this case to grand jury. They actually believed us. They returned a true bill on the indictment. We're confident about that. But what makes me even more confident is that I get to rely on the hard work and evidence and investigation of Chief Hadley, his team, our law enforcement agencies. They collected copious amounts of evidence, and because of their fine investigative work, I feel very confident that we are about the position that we're in today.
You spoke to the hard work of Chief Hadley and law enforcement in this case, and I know Chief Hadley told us multiple times that he didn't want to stand before us months later talking about flaws in the investigation and how that's impacted the case. Can you just speak to how the efforts of law enforcement have helped make this case, have helped make you confident in the evidence of this case so far?
Well, I would say that the evidence that was produced by law enforcement, the good thing is that we had a number of different law enforcement agencies coming together and pooling their information and resources. I am very proud of the work of the lead detective on this case, who was absolutely solid from beginning to end. And, that's something that you pick up when you're a prosecutor and examining evidence and case files and working with detectives. Also, we have one of our top-notch prosecutors. All of our prosecutors in this office are top-notch, but we have one of our top-notch prosecutors who specializes in these kinds of cases and crimes against children, who reviewed the case day and night. So, those kinds of things build our confidence in moving forward with the charge.
Do we have any information or update information about the boyfriend who was home at the time?
We have information about that, but again, that's not anything that I'm going to reveal right now, as I can't talk about the underlying facts and circumstances. I'm sorry, I wish I could. I know you want to know. But out of respect for the judicial process, I kind of have to keep my word on that. And also, I'd like to keep my bar license. So I appreciate your time and attention. Thank you for coming out this afternoon. We will continue to keep you posted as necessary. Thank you, and thank you to the citizens of Chatham County.
So, great news. Sadly, it's at the expense of the life of a 20-month-old, not even 2 years old. Now, there are some information on the indictment on Twitter. So let me actually pull that up here. Okay, yeah, so the main charges are malice unaliving with an object. Wow. She's a sick, sick woman, you guys. Yes, that's my opinion. So she's got, again, 19 count of grand jury indictments for the unaliving of Quinton Simon. All right, now here is the download, if I can grab it here. Here we go. Thanks to the docket on Twitter, and if you do not follow the docket, I highly recommend you do so. The docket gets all the documents and information. So here is the redacted indictment on Leilani. It says the state of Georgia versus Leilani Marie Simon. Offenses: malice unaliving, felony unaliving, 2 counts, concealing the death of another, false report of a crime, and making a false statement, 14 counts. Looks like the witnesses are Mary Ann Lemons, Chatham County Police Department. There's the district attorney, the Shailena Cook Jones, and then it was Tim Dean, assistant district attorney. So let's see here. Yeah, like I said, this is all redacted here, but that's okay. So we have state of Georgia, county of Chatham, and the Superior Court of said county. The grand juror selected, chosen, and sworn for the county of Chatham to wit, and then redacted. Okay, unaliving and concealing the death of another. Count 1, malice unaliving. In the name of and on behalf of the citizens of the state of Georgia, charged and accused Leilani Marie Simon with the offense of malice unaliving. For that the said Leilani Marie Simon in the county of Chatham and state of Georgia on or about the 5th day of October 2022 did unlawfully with malice after forethought cause the death of her son, Quinton Simon, a human being, in a manner unknown to the grand jury at this time, contrary to the laws of the state of Georgia, the good order, peace, and dignity thereof. Count 2, felony unaliving. And the jurors aforesaid in the name of and on behalf of the citizens of the state of Georgia further charge and accuse Leilani Marie Simon with the offense of felony unaliving for that said Leilani Marie Simon in the county of Chatham and state of Georgia on or about the 5th day of October 2022 did commit the offense of aggravated assault in violation of OCGA 16-5-21, a felony, and the accused did make an assault upon the person of her son, Quinton Simon, with an object that was used offensively against a person did result in serious bodily injury, the nature of the object being unknown to the grand jury at this time, and the accused did, in the commission of this offense, cause Quinton's death, contrary to the laws of the state of Georgia, the good order, peace, and dignity thereof. So she beat Quinton. That's the bottom line. She beat Quinton with an object until he was no longer alive. Sick, sick woman, guys. She deserves every single one of these counts. Count 3, felony unaliving. And the jurors aforesaid in the name of and on behalf of the citizens of the state of Georgia further charge and accuse Leilani Marie Simon with the offense of felony unaliving for that said Leilani Marie Simon in the county of Chatham in the state of Georgia on or about the 5th day of October 2022 did commit the offense of cruelty to a child in the first degree in violation of OCGA 16-5-70, and the accused did maliciously cause her son, Quinton Simon, a human being and a child under the age of 18 years, cruel and excessive physical pain in a manner unknown to the grand jury at this time. And the accused did, in the commission of this offense, cause Quinton's death, contrary to the laws of the state of Georgia, the good order, peace, and dignity thereof. Count 4, concealing the death of another. And the jurors aforesaid, in the name of and on behalf of the citizens of the state of Georgia, further charge and accuse Leilani Marie Simon with the offense of concealing the death of another, for that said that Leilani Marie Simon in the county of Chatham in the state of Georgia on or about the 5th day of October 2022 did unlawfully conceal the death of her son, Quinton Simon, by discarding him in a dumpster at Azela Mobile Home Plaza, which hindered the discovery of whether Quinton was unlawfully unalived, contrary to the laws of the state of Georgia, the good order, peace, and dignity thereof. So not only did she beat her child to death, she threw him away like trash, which we already knew that, but hearing it in an indictment, it's just, it makes your blood boil, and it's just sick. It's horrific. It truly is. Falsehoods on October 5th, 2022. Count 5. False report of a crime. And the jurors aforesaid, in the name of and on behalf of the citizens of the state of Georgia, further charge and accuse Leilani Marie Simon with the offense of false report of a crime. For that, they said Leilani Marie Simon in the county of Chatham in state of Georgia on or about the 5th day of October 2022 did willfully and knowingly give a false report of a crime to the Chatham County Police Department, a law enforcement agency of the state, by implying that Quinton Simon had been abducted by an unknown intruder, contrary to the laws of the state of Georgia, the good order, peace, and dignity thereof. The more we're getting into this, it does make me wonder what the boyfriend Daniel knew, being that he went to work that morning. And then they texted the babysitter. So there's more questions that we have, especially now that we're reading this indictment. Count 6, making a false statement. And the jurors aforesaid, in the name of and on behalf of the citizens of the state of Georgia, further charge and accuse Leilani Marie Simon with the offense of making a false statement. For that said Leilani Marie Simon in the county of Chatham in state of Georgia on or about the 5th day of October 2022 did knowingly and willfully make a false statement to Marion Lemons of the Chatham County Police Department and Bradford Snyder of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, law enforcement officers engaged in the lawful discharge of their official duties investigating the disappearance of Quinton Simon, a matter within the jurisdiction of the Chatham County Police Department, a department of the government of this county, to investigate by having admitted that she had left her home in the late night hours of October 4th, 2022, to meet her drug dealer, falsely stating that the purpose of this meeting was to pay an existing drug debt, contrary to the laws of the state of Georgia, in good order, peace, and dignity thereof. Count 7, making a false statement. And the jurors aforesaid, the name of and on behalf of the citizens of the state of Georgia, further charge and accuse Leilani Marie Simon with the offense of making a false statement. For that they said Leilani Marie Simon in the county of Chatham in the state of Georgia on or about the 5th day of October 2022 did knowingly and willfully make a false statement to Marion Lemons of the Chatham County Police Department and Bradford Snyder of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Law enforcement officers engaged in the lawful discharge of their official duties investigating the disappearance of Quinton Simon, a matter within the jurisdiction of the Chatham County Police Department, a department of the government of this county, to investigate by falsely stating that the only controlled substance of which he was a regular user was marijuana, contrary to the laws of the state of Georgia, the good order, peace, and dignity thereof. Count 8, making a false statement. And the jurors aforesaid, in the name of and on behalf of the citizens of the state of Georgia, further charge and accuse Leilani Marie Simon with the offense of making a false statement, for that they said Leilani Marie Simon in the county of Chatham and state of Georgia on or about the 5th day of October 2022 did knowingly and willfully make a false statement to Marion Lemons of the Chatham County Police Department and Bradford Snyder of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Law enforcement officers engaged in the lawful discharge of their official duties investigating the disappearance of Quinton Simon, a matter within the jurisdiction of the Chatham County Police Department, a department of the government of this county, to investigate by falsely stating that the only controlled substance she had used in the past 24 hours was marijuana, contrary to the laws of the state of Georgia, the good order, peace, and dignity thereof. Count 9, making a false statement. So again, the biggest charges, there's 3, but she's got quite the amount of charges for making a false statement. And the jurors aforesaid, in the name of and on behalf of the citizens of the state of Georgia, further charge and accuse Leilani Marie Simon with the offense of making a false statement, for that they said Leilani Marie Simon in the county of Chatham and state of Georgia on or about the 5th day of October 2022 did knowingly and willfully make a false statement to Marion Lemons of the Chatham County Police Department and Bradford Snyder of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Law enforcement officers engaged in the lawful discharge of their official duties investigating the disappearance of Quinton Simon, a matter within the jurisdiction of the Chatham County Police Department, a department of the government of this county, to investigate by having admitted that she had left her home in the early morning hours of October 5th, 2022, falsely stating that the purpose of this trip was to meet her friend, quote, Misty, to obtain Oragel, a topical pain reliever from Misty, and that on this trip the accused had in fact met Misty at a Chevron service station and had obtained Oragel from her, contrary to the laws of the state of Georgia, the good order, peace, and dignity thereof. Count 10, making a false statement. And the jurors aforesaid, the name of and on behalf of the citizens of the state of Georgia, further charge and accuse Leilani Marie Simon with the offense of making a false statement, for that said Leilani Marie Simon in the county of Chatham and state of Georgia on or about the 5th day of October 2022 did knowingly and willfully conceal from Marion Lemons of the Chatham County Police Department and Bradford Snyder of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, law enforcement officers engaged in the lawful discharge of their official duties investigating the disappearance of Quinton Simon, a matter within the jurisdiction of the Chatham County Police Department, a department of the government of this county, to investigate a material fact, to wit, that in the early morning hours of October 5th, 2022, she had in fact traveled to Azella Mobile Home Plaza and there had discarded her son, Quinton Simon, in a dumpster, contrary to the laws of the state of Georgia, the good order, peace, and dignity thereof. And it keeps going on. So let me just get to the gist of counts 11, continuing on, because we've got the rest of these charges here. So count 11 states, like I said, these are all making a false statement. So count 11 would be that she's having admitted that she left her home to meet her drug dealer in the late night hours of October 4th, 2022, falsely stating that the purpose of this meeting was to pay an existing drug debt, contrary to the laws of the state of Georgia, the good order, peace, and dignity thereof. So I guess she made this falsehood again on October 8th. So these are from October 8th. And then count 12, that false statement is again that she said to them on the night of October 4th that she had used controlled substances. She said that she had used controlled substances contrary to the laws. So I guess it doesn't really say marijuana though. It says department. Okay, on the night of that she had used controlled substances contrary to the laws of the state of Georgia. All right, and then count 13. This false statement is, having admitted that she had left her home in the early morning hours of October 5th, 2022, and had traveled to Azela Mobile Home Plaza, falsely stating that the purpose of this trip was to meet her friend Misty to obtain Orgel, a topical pain reliever, from Misty, and that on this trip, the accused had in fact met Misty at Azela Mobile Home Plaza and had obtained Orgel from her, contrary to the laws of the state of Georgia. So I guess these false statements, since they were made again, I guess they're just multiplied. Let's see, count 14 isn't that she stated in the early morning hours of October 5th at the Azela Mobile Home Plaza she had discarded her son, Quinton Simon, in a dumpster. Let's see. And then we jump to October 12th. It looks like she's repeated the false statement about meeting Misty for the Orgel again. And then count 16 is another charge for, okay, here's what she said. She said that she admitted that she had discarded something in a dumpster at the Azela Mobile Home Plaza in the early morning hours of October 5th, falsely stating that all she had discarded was normal household garbage, contrary to the laws of the state of Georgia. So that one she changed it up a bit. Count 17. She stated in the early morning hours of October 5th at the Azela Mobile Home Plaza that she had discarded her son Quinton Simon in the dumpster. So this was when she was lying about that one again. Then we jump to October 31st, falsely stating that it was not the accused, but rather Daniel Youngkin, who had traveled away from the home in the early morning hours of October 5th, 2022. So this one here, they're stating it too. It looks like another detective, Savannah Solomon, and then Bradford Snyder as well. So this count 18 is when she blamed it on her boyfriend, Daniel Youngkin. Kind of nice of her, isn't it? Count 19 is the last count. It states that not her, but Daniel Youngkin had left the home in the early morning hours on October 5th and traveled to Azela Mobile Home Plaza, and having admitted that she had no contact there with her friend Misty, falsely stating that she did not remember what she had done there, contrary to the laws of the state of Georgia. So she's making up stuff, and then she's also throwing her boyfriend under the bus. She's just a quality individual, isn't she? So bottom line is Leilani Simon's got 19 indictments against her. The majority are making false statements, but she's been indicted on unaliving charges. And it's sick to know the details. Obviously, I'm sure there's more details than they're stating in the indictment. But she beat this poor, helpless 20-month-old that she gave birth to. She beat him until he was no longer alive, and then she took him in the car and dumped him in the trash like he's garbage. I don't have anything nice to say about Leilani. So I hope she gets everything coming to her, and I applaud the Chatham County Police Department, the FBI, every single person that has worked on this case, especially all those workers that worked hard out there searching for weeks in that landfill for the remains of poor little Quinton, and the DA's office. This county is not putting up with Leilani. And I'm very, very glad that they are standing up for this little baby, and because he deserves the justice. And my hat's off to them, and I will be following this one all the way through. Leilani deserves, everything she gets, and I really feel bad for her two remaining children. I really hope that they can get through this since they're young. They're very young, and hopefully they can have a better life going forward. Because how horrific! Anything has got to be better than living under the roof that they've been under through this point. So hopefully their fathers or some foster parents can give them a better life from here on in. So this is an awful, awful thing, but I'm very glad to hear the grand jury did this amazing work, and they brought all these charges against her. And yeah, so this is it for her. Like the DA said, whether she goes to trial or not, we don't know yet. Whether she's just gonna, plead guilty or what, or do some kind of a plea deal. I don't know, but I'm sure we'll know more in the coming weeks on that. Probably not until after the holidays, but hey, Leilani's spending Christmas in jail. What's better than that? As far as I'm concerned, I hope she enjoys herself and, hangs out there. So let me know what you guys think of this news, all the indictments and the comments, and we're going to continue to stand up for little Quinton. It's really sad that no one really was there to protect him. Again, like I said, the babysitter really seemed to be the only one. It's really sad. And, this poor little guy, 20 months old, didn't seem to know, and the babysitter claims that Leilani didn't love him. I don't know if that's truth or not, but she obviously didn't love him when she beat him that morning, did she? So, all right, guys, I want to thank you for checking out the video. Like I said, let me know what you think in the comments. And with that said and done, I hope you have a great rest of the day. And most of all, stay safe.